you're going to look at further?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and as we saw this morning, as our colleague here said this morning, it's been quite an emotional conversation for us. Some people, obviously, personally are supporting and feel a great sense of grief also. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we are a professional organisation and we have to get on with that. Will we look at the rules again after the games? We look at the whole games again. Nothing is so perfect that it can't be improved. We will certainly, I'm sure, take a long look and see how that might be changed. But I think in this specific case, without really overemphasizing it, because these rules were promulgated and brought forward by the athletes themselves, we could go back to them, but I think it was a pretty long and thorough process of coming back to that, and they made it very clear that they wanted a safe space, and we respected that. But I'm not going to say, no, we will never look at any issues again. Yes, we have no plans, I don't think to, but of course, in a review of the games, you look at all the issues that were raised, and that would be one of them. Yeah, I have a question from the spread out games.
Thanks, Mark. Tracy Adams from the Sports Ambassador asks, even if the rules are accurate regarding disqualifying the Ukrainian athlete, does this not just magnify the issue of the helmet and actually provide more of a platform and therefore is more damaging to the IOC than just letting him compete in the helmet?
Yeah, I mean, the consequences of it are the consequences, and I'm sure in one sense, because he wants to get his message across, then in that sense it will have probably worked for him. But for us, it's to concentrate on applying the rules, and that's all we can do, and that's what we've done. Yes, gentleman in the back there. I think we're going to come to sustainability in a moment, but I want to get a full.
Robert Kemper, German TV ARD. Mark, one question. In the interview with German broadcaster ZDF, Vladimir Putin said that the reason for stripping away his accreditation, or that he can't start, was violation of Rule 50. So can you please give a reason? And
it's a good clarification, because it's not for Rule 50.
But you even been on Tuesday, I remember that you were even quoting, without mentioning, but quoting Rule 50. So
I don't, anyway, whether I did or not, if I did, I made a mistake, because it's actually Rule 40. And we actually changed the rules in 2024. I've written a note to myself somewhere. It's not about Rule 50, which is political, commercial signs and signage. It's not about that. Rule 40, we changed the Olympic Charter specifically to include the line that the athletes' guidelines should be respected. So it's two different things.
Okay, good. Thank you for the clarification. Second question would be, when got Mr. Jaskiewicz stripped away his accreditation? Was it in the meeting or after the meeting with the IOC president? Could you?
That I don't have the details. Obviously I wasn't in Cortina, but we can get you those details about the actual moments.
Third one, just a follow-on. The outcome of this actions, what happened today here, is that now there's a big let's say, cheering in Russian social media, in Russian Telegram chats about this decision the IOC took. That means, in a way, it is used politically. Are you not entering now to political sphere with this, what happened today, to the skeleton rider?
Unfortunately, we can't control what is said or not said in social media. I have my own views on social media, but we cannot affect that. We cannot stop people from saying what they want to say. It's the right of people to give their opinions. The IOC can't enter into that sphere. If they want to make it political, then they make it political. It's not us. Yes, Graham, over here.
Thank you. On this, Mr. Haraskovic, he did say he would appeal to CAS. I mean, the competition's begun, but all your lawyers are on site. Have you got any awareness of how quickly that could happen and how you could practically help? Because if it's going to try to rewrite the Olympic Charter, that's a much bigger and longer issue. What can reasonably and practically be done today for him?
I'll give you a very, very short answer, which I think you probably know already. Well, we have what's called the CAS ad hoc court. So we have the people here, and their job is to bring remedy in a very timely manner, which obviously in this case would be very timely indeed. I don't know if he has appealed, but we have the ability to set up an ad hoc commission at any time. So if he does appeal, we can deal with it. Whether he could still take part, that's not for me to say. That would be a question for the Federation. But certainly the CAS ad hoc is available at any time and sits very regularly during any edition of the Games, as you probably know, Graham. Okay, we're going to turn now to sustainability, which, as I say, I think is a very important issue, and particularly with Winter Games, it's an issue which has become more and more important. So let's kick off now with apologies for making you wait, Gloria. Over to you, Gloria, for your comments.
Grazie e buongiorno a tutti. I Giochi Olimpici e Paralimpici Invernali di Milano Cortina 2026 stanno attuando una serie di azioni olistiche, pervasive, seguendo tutto il ciclo di vita dell'evento. Il primo pensiero è ovviamente la carbon footprint, e quindi il piano di mitigazione per ridurre le emissioni di gas climalteranti emessi dall'evento stesso, attraverso diverse iniziative, tra cui alcune legate all'economia circolare e con principi anche di responsabilità sociale. Il punto di partenza è stato sicuramente, fin dalla fase di candidatura, la scelta delle venue già esistenti per l'85% e che continueranno ad offrire opportunità di turismo, iniziative sportive, competizioni anche in futuro. Tra le varie iniziative che sono state messe in atto per contenere le emissioni di CO2, sicuramente va menzionata l'utilizzazione di energia elettrica da fonti rinnovabili certificate per la quasi totalità delle venue, quindi dove è stato tecnicamente possibile è il 100%, e sia sulle venue competitive che le venue non competitive. Per quanto riguarda i generatori di energia elettrica a livello temporaneo, vengono utilizzati solamente in condizioni di emergenza, e questo grazie al potenziamento che vi è stato della rete di distribuzione appunto di energia elettrica in moltissime venue. Si è spinto moltissimo sulla espansione dell'uso del trasporto pubblico, valorizzando le reti esistenti e interessando tutte le varie venue, anche quelle più remote, da una garanzia di trasporto pubblico con addizionale il trasporto collettivo messo a disposizione per ridurre appunto l'uso dell'utilizzo dell'auto privata. La flotta che è stata messa a disposizione di autoveicoli è stata ridotta di un circa 20% rispetto a quella di Torino 2006, principalmente per politiche di carpooling che sono state messe in atto, e include il 20% di veicoli completamente elettrici. La restante quota utilizza diesel HVO, che è un carburante alternativo al fossile proveniente da oli vegetali, quindi è un alternativo al fossile, e viene prodotto da oli vegetali, grassi e oli di cottura esausti. L'utilizzo di questo carburante riduce mediamente le emissioni di gas serra nell'intero ciclo di vita di produzione da un 60 a un 90% rispetto al gasolio tradizionale. Poi sono state identificate e proposte una serie di soluzioni per la sostenibilità delle infrastrutture temporanee. Infrastrutture temporanee che includono le tende, i container, le tribune, l'energia temporanea stessa, i vari rivestimenti per la vestizione delle venue, e che stiamo portando avanti. Potranno essere sviluppate in tutti i settori che utilizzano infrastrutture temporanee, e spingere tutto il settore ad avere migliori prestazioni ambientali e anche sociali. Il progetto è condiviso con IOC e ha coinvolto anche l'IBU e la FIS per la raccolta di molte informazioni che sono ancora necessarie per basare questi sistemi anche su l'LCA, quindi il ciclo di vita appunto degli elementi. Altre iniziative di economia circolare che possono contribuire alla riduzione delle emissioni di CO2 che sono state messe in atto riguardano ad esempio il riutilizzo di circa 20.000 elementi di arredo dalle Olimpiadi e Paralimpiadi di Parigi del 2024. Il privilegio sempre nelle procedure di approvvigionamento di beni in affitto anziché acquistati, un piano di riuso a fine evento. Sono state coinvolte le 2 organizzazioni del terzo settore presenti già a livello locale, Banco Alimentare e FM Solidare, per recuperare e ridistribuire il cibo non consumato, ancora edibile però, nell'Evenio. Ed è stato implementato un sistema avanzato di raccolta differenziata, lo potete trovare anche nei corridoi di questa sede, per raccogliere almeno il 70% di rifiuti urbani nelle diverse frazioni. In particolare è stata sviluppata la valorizzazione dei rifiuti dalle bottiglie in PET, che raccolte in maniera separata, e quindi invito ancora tutti a farlo, in maniera separata, quindi garantendo che ci sia la raccolta solo di bottiglie da appunto beverage, possano essere inserite nel processo di bottle to bottle, ovvero da bottiglie di PET a bottiglie ancora di PET o RIPET. Questo valorizza moltissimo questi processi che sono a minore impatto ambientale rispetto agli altri più tradizionali. Abbiamo attivato anche alcune partnership per aiutarci in questa raccolta appunto differenziata con AI, che ha disegnato attraverso la scuola del design con il coinvolgimento degli studenti del Politecnico alcuni contenitori che trovate nell'Evenio, competitive, e una campagna di comunicazione, con Coripet in particolare il sistema bottle to bottle delle bottiglie di PET. E poi vorrei citare solo un esempio di un oggetto particolarmente iconico per i nostri giochi, ovvero le torce, che hanno assunto un importante messaggio, ovvero di dimostrare che è possibile produrre oggetti di design bellissimi anche con l'utilizzo di materiale riciclato. Questo è importante perché è stato anche certificata tutta la filiera di questo riciclo, quindi è una cosa assicurata appunto attraverso la certificazione Remade e la tracciabilità di tutti i materiali utilizzati. Poi, come sapete, hanno anche altri vantaggi dal punto di vista ambientale, l'alimentazione con bio-GPL, il peso ridotto, la riutilizzabilità. Quindi per noi questo è un messaggio a tutti i settori produttivi, perché si possono ottenere bellissime prestazioni su prodotti anche di questa natura utilizzando delle soluzioni a maggior sostenibilità. Da ultimo alcune info sull'innevamento tecnico che durante i giochi olimpici e paralimpici viene utilizzato per garantire le condizioni ottimali sulle piste da sci. E l'innevamento è stato garantito anche dal rinnovo e dall'ammodernamento degli impianti esistenti, e questo ha permesso l'introduzione di tecnologie a maggior efficienza energetica e nell'uso dell'acqua. Quindi questi impianti, come detto prima, utilizzano nella maggior parte, anche in questo caso, energia elettrica da fonti rinnovabili per la loro alimentazione, e sulle piste non vengono utilizzati né coloranti né prodotti biologici, sono solo delle pitture a base prodotti alimentari per la colorazione e la tracciatura delle piste. Inoltre sono stati adottati dei sistemi informatizzati che utilizzano apparecchiature elettroniche come GPS, sensori di profondità della neve, strumenti di gestione dei dati, che permettono ai conducenti e agli operatori dei gatti delle nevi per la preparazione delle piste di parlarsi tra di loro e intervenire solo effettivamente dove le condizioni della pista sono necessarie, questo ottimizzando anche in questo caso i circuiti e i percorsi, sempre garantendo la sicurezza della pista e le condizioni ottimali per gli atleti. Anche i gatti delle nevi utilizzano i CVO al posto del diesel tradizionale, riducendo anche questo elemento. Con questo concludo un po' le principali innovazioni e soluzioni adottate e resto a vostra disposizione. Grazie.
Thank you, Julie. If you want to make a brief presentation from the IOC side.
Thank you, Gloria. As you have heard from Gloria, they are really focusing on innovation in clean energy, snowmaking technologies, and low-carbon mobility. And I think this shows that the IOC, our focus is really on reducing the footprint of the Games while helping the host regions adapt to the changing climate that we are facing today, and also strengthening their long-term resilience. And all of this work is helping to ensure that we have a safe, fair and reliable competition while reducing the carbon footprint of the event, but also supporting these host regions in adapting to this changing climate. So as you've heard from Gloria, they've reduced by 85% the competition venues which are, they have 85% of competition venues are existing. And this is one of the highest reuse rates that we have ever had at the Games. Most of the competition venues are powered by renewable energy. The backup generators and almost all the snowcats are run on HGV, which is really pushing the innovation in the snow sports. Snow production as well is kept to a minimum required, and using state-of-the-art technology that reduces water and electrical use, we are leaving behind a legacy that can benefit these communities in the future. But the IOC's work goes beyond what we do at the Olympic Games. We are also working on our own carbon footprint, and we are on track now to reduce by 50% by 2030. We also work closely with the international sport federations and the National Olympic Committees, and all of this combined with the organising committees is making them drive sport more sustainable. We have many partners, and some of those are the United Nations, where we work with the Sports for Climate Action Framework and the Sports for Nature Framework to really drive action in sports. And recently, some of you hopefully saw that we launched our IOC Climate Action Award winners last week to really celebrate the efforts across this Olympic movement to address climate change through sport. So at the IOC, we're really committed to driving this innovation from Games to Games, and driving that positive impact that we see in the communities that we have seen here at Milano Cortina. So on that note, I will pass over to Christoph. Thank you.
Over to you, Christoph. Yeah.
Bon, it's a lot of ground covered. Can I say, sustainability is not a word. Sustainability, as you heard, is actions which translate in results. And thank you for doing all of this, Milano Cortina. You've been trailblazing for what is a new model. And we can go back to the model, dispersed and the consequence, but what they've done is simply exceptional. Thank you for doing this. For the IOC, for sports in general, sustainability is a priority. We don't have the choice. We don't have the choice not to have positive impacts in the three spheres of sustainability. Economically, we have to be impeccable. And when we see the result of these games with a massive economic impact, and the byproduct of this, we tick that box. Socially, what it means to be in those regions where they have the expertise and continue to develop this expertise. And by the way, you should know that in China, we have Chinese media here. In China, we had a lot of Italians to help in preparing for the games in 2022. And these people that are now working on these games will find them in France, probably. These are jobs that are created not only in sport expertise, but across. And obviously, from an environmental standpoint, we have to do it right because climate has an impact on all of us. And that's not only for winter. This is winter and this is summer. We won't go into all the details here, but the games have to adapt to new realities. Sport have to adapt to new realities. I mentioned the other day we changed the marathon from Tokyo to Sapporo. Do you know how difficult that was? And you know what? It was the only right thing to do. And here we have adapted to a region which has it all. And you said it, Gloria, we didn't have to build. Everything is temporary except one venue, which was a profound renovation, and one that was needed, Santa Giulia, which will leave a fantastic legacy for the city of Milano. So all in all, we have to factor in sustainability not as a byproduct or a tick-the-box activity, as an absolute priority for the IOC, for sports in general. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Christophe. Okay, sustainability. I'm looking around. Presentation must have been... Ah, notre ami de France. Yep.
Merci Marc. Bonjour, Bruno Fraioli de sportbusiness.club. Je vais poser ma question en français. J'ai remarqué, non plutôt je n'ai pas remarqué de fontaine à eau, en tous les cas sur les sites sur lesquels je suis allé, notamment ici par exemple. J'ai remarqué aussi beaucoup de ventes encore de bouteilles en plastique. Alors est-ce que l'organisation n'a pas fait le choix ce qu'on appelle les éco-cups en plastique? Et justement, à la cérémonie, j'ai eu en main un gobelet en aluminium. Alors, est-ce que c'était de Coca-Cola? Est-ce que c'était uniquement sur cet événement-là? Ou est-ce que vous avez également distribué ce type de gobelet en aluminium sur d'autres sites et d'autres événements? Merci beaucoup.
Gloria, I think, yeah.
Ok, allora il tema della vendita di bottiglie di plastica riguarda anche un'ipotesi di fattibilità in venue che sono molto disperse una rispetto all'altra, molto distanti, e spesso non hanno nelle varie venue delle connessioni con il sistema di distribuzione dell'acqua potabile sufficientemente adatte per poter installare dei distributori di bevande. Quindi la scelta è stata di questa natura. In più, come le accennavo prima, il sistema bottle to bottle, cioè il recupero delle bottiglie in forma separata di PET, ne permette il riciclo diretto in altre bottiglie di PET, riducendo quegli impatti a cui fa riferimento. Il tema delle cerimonie invece è stato perché per una questione di sicurezza anche le bottiglie non era possibile distribuirle all'utente, al consumatore finale, e quindi dovevano essere aperte, versate in un bicchiere e lasciata la bottiglia e i vari tappi all'interno delle zone di ristorazione. Questo per un problema proprio di sicurezza che abbiamo discusso con il Ministero degli Interni. Sul tema invece delle bottiglie in PET, questo non so se sapete che devono essere sempre distribuite con il tappo in HDPE, è stato appositamente riconosciuta la particolarità di un evento di questa natura e vengono staccate dal concessionario in modo da poter ridurre gli elementi ipotetici di sicurezza e poter essere distribuite in questo modo, ma evitando di riversarle in un bicchiere in modo tale da ridurre comunque la produzione di due streams di potenziali rifiuti.
Thank you very much. Yeah, question at the back there. Yeah.
Mark, thank you. Question for Duby. You just mentioned the Chinese company or partner. Could you share one or two stories of Chinese company or partners that are helping the Milan 2026 more sustainable development? Thank you.
I can share many stories from Beijing 2022. I've traveled the mountains in Yangqing and Zhangjiakou for 7 years prior to the game. So yes, I could share a lot. What I did as well is go to a big convention in December, which is the Winter Convention. And what I could see there is a lot of Chinese brands very active on very, very novel technologies, including artificial snow. I could even snow in the convention hall. So we will see more and more Chinese product for a good reason. Winter sports, probably thanks to the games, I would feel, are now very popular. We were aiming for 300 million participants at the time. We are close to 400 now, and if you see pictures of some of the slopes any given weekend, it's pretty impressive. So yes, a lot of things were done in Beijing, and what for me remained the most impressive is that all the venues were on the grid renewable energy. So we didn't need any temporary power, all renewable, emphasis on this. But also you went very far for snow production and recovery of water, especially in Yangqing. And the one last thing that I would mention, which made a difference, is the coolants for all the ice rinks. And this was a new technology as well. It had never been tested, and the results were fantastic. Great quality of ice and less environmentally impactful. So many things out of China that we learned and transferred to the next games.
Okay, I think that's it. I can't remember who asked me the question about the Israeli judoka, but yes, we did issue a small statement at the time, and we were in touch with the NOC at the time. I'm happy to provide that. I think it was you, sir, but we had a little statement at the time. So yes, we did deal with it on the spot there in Paris, as we try to do with all the other cases. Thank you very much. I will see you. I think we're back to normal time, 11 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you very much. See you all then. Thank you to the top table.
Thank you.
Oh, actually, just to tell you that tomorrow's press conference is at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. tomorrow.